Hi there, you're at the Aave Wyckoff session. So we'll look at how Aave is performing. So in the weekly chart, we're seeing this upward trend continuing. So previously we've drawn this upward trend line, and basically this week it's still staying above it. So it's a relatively positive sign. However, what's not so positive is this over here, this declining volume at the bottom. So it may be losing steam going upwards here. So if that really is the case, then an upthrust may not happen if the volume doesn't pick up. Besides these two yellow trend lines, what we can possibly draw is this. So this is the let's say the trading range trend. Let's put it this way. So I just want to keep it here. If it ever falls outside of this box or goes above, then we know a new trend has been developed and we have to adjust our views or strategies on Aave. But currently it's still within this range, and yeah, it's positive, but with a caveat that the volume doesn't seem to be following. And if this is really not the upthrust, maybe this is another last point of supply, then what would naturally happen is for the price to come down to retest the purple line at around 285. But upside, if it continues, that will be around 370. So that's the macro view. But we'll look at the daily as well to see whether this view, there's anything in the short term at least that's contradicting this view or supporting this view. Because if these trend lines continue, there's one more thing we can observe over here is, once again, let's get rid of this box for the time being, just quickly. This triangle over here, so still within the box, but we're getting closer and closer to that. So this triangle over here formed between the green resistance line at 370 and this yellow upward trend line. That's around end of this month. So we're getting closer and closer to that point, and we all know it doesn't always have to be like reaching the tip for a breakout to happen. So when it comes to this point, it looks like a very huge double top is forming, right? So hopefully if it really breaks out, some people would like to see an upthrust. If you're on that side, and you probably want to see a breakout towards the upside that goes over 370. But if you believe in more like a double top scenario, then this would be somewhere like going back to the purple line or even the white top over here at 190. So that's the possible scenarios. If we go to the daily, here we already put in this tag last time, and we put a question mark like asking whether it's an upthrust after distribution, if this was an buying climax and also an upthrust. And indeed it looks like this has happened. So we have just seen an upthrust after distribution that happened. However, we also like talk about one thing, right? This blue box over here, this blue line, this bottom edge has become the resistance line basically for this uptrend. And you can see over the past 2 weeks or even more, all these candlesticks, they are being suppressed under this line. And as of this moment, even the upthrust of the distribution is happening, it is still below this box. So what we are possibly going to see is this upward wedge, right? So, and by the time we get closer to end of this month or early August, this has to break out of this wedge, because there's no more room for the price to go. It's getting narrower and narrower. So one thing to help us gauge whether this is going to happen is this cold squeeze indication. So previously there was squeeze over there, and the price started to go up, and in the next few days, or probably 7 to 10 days time, if the price continues to narrow, this indicator may eventually form a bracket. So a squeeze may happen somewhere down the line over the next week. If that happens, that's a good sign that indicates breakout, it's going to happen, a trend, a boost is going to happen, much like what we have seen in the past, like all these brackets. This one was coming down, and then obviously there are times that the squeeze signals a push for upwards. So this next week when we come back, hopefully it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully this indicator is going to show us a bracket situation is happening, and we will expect a squeeze. But as of this moment, this upward wedge is our basically North Star.